Okay, Sunday morning in the kingdom of the long weekend. Yes, the Canadian long weekend. So we woke up to warm temperatures, a plus 11, but feels like plus 10. Yes. And then on the yo-yo scale, plus 52 and plus, but feels like plus 50. Yes. Those are ages of my cats. I have no vehicles that new. Yes, I am the king of obsolete. Also, too, it's Friday. Oh, it's Sunday. My lips, my brain hurts. So make sure you clean your vacuum and air out your doggy blankets. Yes, as you can read here, 5 years ago, I was the hero. Yes, just like in the film Megamind, I was the hero. But I didn't get the girl. I don't know why. Yes, it was a Saturday morning, pouring rain, and I get a phone call. Could I drive some people from the airport? Yes, and there was 34 people at the airport. So I drove up to the airport and took a look. And here's the picture of the plane. Yes, the plane. I'll put it right here. Oh, how about over here? Oh, that's not working. Okay, we didn't get the picture into place, but that's okay. It's the thought that counts. Yes, it was a white plane, a Dash 8, and it had no markings. I covered over the call numbers because it is a Canadian plane, and you can track it on Flight Tracker. So there's this plane sitting on the runway in the rain, nobody around. The airport's all locked up and everything, but I am smart enough to know where the hole in the fence is so I could climb through. I walk over to the plane, they open the door, I go in, and there's three British people. Yes, with very, very thick British accents, just like my great-grandmother. Yes, and they're going, what the hell is going on with this shit show? And in the plane is all fancy inside, and there's 34 people sitting there looking at me, and they recognize me for my fame. Yes, Ice Road Truckers. So the plane couldn't land at the lodge like the pilot in his thick British accent said there was water on the runway. Well, yeah, it's been like raining a long time and it's a dirt runway. So he said we weren't landing, so he came here and nobody's come to help us. And then you show up. Okay, that's no problem. So I did the honorable thing. We cut the padlocks or the chain on the gate, tossed everybody into the school bus that I had at the time, okay, drove them to the water base to find out the float planes are bringing the guests in from the lodge. It's only a 20-minute flight from the lodge, so 34 guests off the plane. There's 34 guests coming in on the float planes, so this shouldn't take long. Yeah, right. 3 hours later, all the guests arrived from the lodge, and I put them all back on that fancy plane, and those guys took off, never to be seen again. Yes, I checked on Flight Tracker to see where the plane goes once in a while, and it flies a lot for the UN. That's why there's no fancy markings or anything too, and they're based out of Britain, so that's why they have the British accent. So it's a nice plane. Yes, I don't know why it had the Canadian call numbers, but it was based out of Britain. All right, so I was the hero that day, got everybody switched around, they flew them out to the lodge. And of course the people in the people of WHO-ville and the business of WHO-ville, it was just unreal. They went out of their way to show everybody why not to come here. It was terrible. So I had to entertain these people all day till they got flown out. And then the best part was, yes, the lodge was such a shit show. Anytime a float plane went in, guests were jumping on it and flying, coming out. Then they'd phone me from the water base, come and pick me up because I was their new best friend. And then they would use their credit card to order a plane from the south. The plane from the south would arrive, and the fuel pumps at the airport wouldn't work, so they'd have to leave here and fly to the next town out of their way to get fuel to make it back to Winnipeg. And then by, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, they crashed a float plane in front of the lodge, in front of all the guests, and that was it. The runway was dry enough, and they could get a wheel plane in to get everybody out. That was it. Everybody took off. Yes, and I still haven't been paid. Oh, well, it's only money from the lodge. That's why I have a dislike for them. So when people phone or message me or email me wanting to go to a lodge, I recommend a cruise ship. All right, so 5 years ago, I was a hero, entertaining people with lots of money. It was like 4 days of fun and frolic. Yes, getting these people all around. And my 15 seconds of fame on Ice Road Truckers paid off. Look at the clear skies. It's just nice out here. As soon as I start recording, the dogs are like little kids and acting up. Unfrickin' real. All right, let's go this way. There we go. The staff will be over today. We'll put the frame back on the grader. Rear ends. Yes. Oh, that sun is bright. And it's Sunday, so we're having bacon and eggs today. Yes, bacon and eggs for lunch. And then we're doing little things. All right, I better go. Here comes the boss. Okay, I was curious and had to know, so I typed in the call numbers of that fancy plane that was here 5 years ago on this date, and here's the flight tracker. All right, it's still flying. It appears to be in good shape. It doesn't look like it's had its colors changed or anything like that, but it seems to be flying out of, can't really see the mouse here. Oh, okay, there it is. Excuse me. All right, so it's flying out of Central Africa Republic, okay? That's where the plane came from 5 years ago. How it ended up in Winnipeg, how it ended up at the end of the world, we're not sure. Even a British accented flight crew was in shock when they arrived in WHO-ville and the lack of service and the way they were treated. No wonder they went back to Africa. They probably treated better over there. All right, let's continue the quest. Okay, the best way to explain how daylight it is, this is 11:30 last night. Yes, Saturday night in the kingdom, and the cameras are still on day vision, and just as I hit play, they'll change into the night vision. Okay, so that gives you an idea how much daylight we still have, but also too, it's still bright out there, because that's how, I don't know how you explain it, but it's still bright. Okay, it was just after 4 o'clock this morning when the cameras changed to day vision, but I fast forwarded. There's somebody heading home after the party. Yes, you wouldn't be leaving town WHO-ville at 4 o'clock in the morning unless you were going somewhere of importance. Yeah, right, to her house. All right, let's continue on. Okay, note the time change on the cameras here. Oh, I don't think you guys can see it, but that's the actual time. So the cameras are 1 hour difference, okay? So when I'm saying it's 4 o'clock, the cameras are showing it's 3 o'clock, okay? I don't know how to change the time, and I'm old school, so just like in the vehicles, when I had fancy vehicles, I had the clock on the dash, I just left it and did the math real quick in my head. Okay, after morning coffee in the kingdom, and we got the drain plug out, actually the height plug or the filler plug for the grader out. That's the copper washer. I couldn't get an accurate measurement off of this one because it's kind of missing a space. So we come up with this measurement here, but it's tight. I put the vernier calipers here. All right, tight against here. So when I do a Google search, I'll have to add more numbers here. And I did an outside measurement too. So I'll take the copper washer in the house. I'll put that plug back in before I forget so the rain doesn't get in it. Or if I go for a test drive, all the transmission oil doesn't fall out the side. All right, at my age, we have to make lists. So we did that one. We have to do the chain sprockets, and we got to pressure wash the tote because we have to make sure it's clean for the next rain. All right, so over here, we'll do the walk and talk video. One thing nice about chain, roller chain, is they mark on it. It's plain and day. Okay, that's roller chain number 50, which is simple. Well greased, everything. This grease cup or little housing just free floats around. It's on those rubber bushings, so it stays with it at all times. I have to note that, okay, that this here is incorporated into this sprocket. So I came up with this harebrained idea after consulting with Jack Daniels that you can actually get weldable hubs, okay, by the sprocket, weld the hub on, which actually has the 6 splines, okay. So this morning being sober, I can't draw 6 splines. I ended up with 4 splines, but I got my measurements, which is okay. And I did Google how to measure it. So I have to find a number 50 chain, 16 tooth, and 3 1/4 diameter flat tooth sprocket. Yes, to me, these are been flattened off. They should be at a point from my sprocket experience with the mini bikes when I was growing up, right? Remember playing with the mini bike, the little Briggs & Stratton motor that never started, and you got it going and the clutch would engage and off you went and then the chain would fall off. Yes. Plus the Briggs & Stratton was a whole totally piece of junk. Yes. Now if we had a Honda motor on there, or a knockoff Honda, man, we could have had a lot more fun because we spent more time trying to start that Briggs & Stratton. So now if I get a hub, okay, by the hub with the 6 spline configuration. Ooh, that's a big word. We'll have to Google it. And then weld the 16 tooth sprocket onto it, and then this will work in here. But I got to make sure I got everything tight. I've made a measurement of this here because I want to base everything on being able to build this mounting this, and then when the money tree blossoms and a sprocket and spline tub show up, I'm ready to go. So you always have to think it ahead and be focused. So instead of watching the Playboy channel last night, I was Googling and learning. That's the main thing. No matter how old you are learning. Okay, lunchtime in the kingdom, and I did an hour's worth of pressure washing. So I got all the bolts clean here and the half moon things. After lunch, I'll clean up this here, and then I want to start pumping grease into this area to see where it's going or what's happening. Because if I put the frame back on and find out that the grease evaporates or disappears into an unknown atmospheric or zone or never land, that's not good. So when I had the pressure washer out, I washed out the water tote. That way it's clean and fresh for when the rains come. Well, probably tomorrow or maybe this afternoon. It being so warm, I might get a thunderstorm. Oh well, let's go burn some bacon and eggs.
Sunday morning in WHO-ville, and it's just after 9 a.m. and I'm finally rolling out of bed. I have to do some laundry this morning and get ready to go to the kingdom after lunch. I have to help my dad with a few things. Let's head inside, let the dogs out, and make breakfast. 11 a.m. and this is the temperature we're sitting at right now. It's 22 degrees Celsius, which is 71 degrees Fahrenheit. We even have the feels like on the bottom. It's been pretty nice out here this morning. That wind is picking up, so it's keeping all the bugs and sand flies away. Now it's time to head inside, let the dogs out, and switch laundry. 2 p.m. and I made to the kingdom. Now I'll head on down to the shop and see what my dad's up to. Sure is getting windy out here, which is nice because that sun is extra warm today. Down at the shop now, and it looks like we are going to be putting the grader back together. I have the mini out so I can push on the back end, and my dad's just getting the green toy out and he'll lift it up and then we can push it back into place. Got the green toy into place. Now we will hook up and I will jump on the mini, so I will be switching over to the tripod, which will be placed just inside the shop doors because it sure is windy out here. Look at those flags blow. We got everything bolted into place. Now my dad just went to park the loader, and then we'll move the green toy and hook it back up to the deck here for safety reasons because it is pretty windy out here. And once we're done that, I'll jump on the Mini and go fluff up some dirt for my yard. I think it went pretty smooth. We were able to get it hooked up no problem. Just had to get the loader out and give it that last little push, but everything is lined up and bolted in. Now my dad can put everything else back together. Ended up using the Mini so we can push down on the front so we could bolt in one of the plates here. I'll walk up and show you what we were doing. We were bolting this onto place, so we had to push it down, that way everything lined up. My dad just went to go find some stuff, then he'll finish bolting this on. Just after 3 p.m. and I'm inside the new shop with the Mini. I have to fluff up all this dirt right here and get it ready to bring into WHO-ville. That way I can landscape my yard and put my quad shed back, but that won't be until next weekend. But I have time right now, so let's get it done. 3:30 and I just made a pile of dirt here. This will be for my quad shed when we go to move it back into place. I have to level it out, plus I don't want to be walking in mud because it does get pretty muddy in front of my quad shed. I think this will be enough dirt. If not, I can always come back and grab some more. Now I'll head down to the front gate and get some dirt from my backyard. Down at the front gate now with the Mini, and I have to sort out all these rocks and pull down this dirt right here and get it ready for when we haul it into WHO-ville. This will be for my backyard because it's more of a material than the stuff I was digging in the new shops. Let's see how long it takes me to make a pile. I'm just going to put all the big rocks over here with the rest of them. 4:30 and I just finished making a little pile here. It took me a bit because I had to sort through all the rocks and there's a lot of clay in here. Plus I was getting stuck, so I continuously had to move around. Now I'll head on back up to the shop and see what my dad's up to. Just after 4:30 and I'm officially done in the kingdom. I will go up and grab my dog treats, then head on back into WHO-ville and do the weather. 5 p.m. and I just made home from the kingdom and put the quad away. This is the temperature we're sitting at right now. It's 26 degrees Celsius, which is 78 degrees Fahrenheit. We even have the feels like on the bottom. It's been pretty nice out there today. That sun is hot, but the wind makes it nice and cool. I already let the dogs out. Now it's time to head inside, make supper, and end my day.
Okay, that worked out rather well. Jacking up the transmission, and the transmission cleared this cross member right here. And then you got to bolt the transmission to the cross member or it falls down. I don't know who thought that up. Wasn't very good idea in my eyes. Oh wait, it was 1940s when this was designed. It was a great idea at the time because they didn't have the tools, the equipment, or the technology. All right, let's go have a beer in celebration. We worked hard already. Okay, well, the staff was out getting materials for her yard and her project. I took the impact and got all these nuts and bolts tightened up. So the transmission's in. And then I went back here to tighten up this to make sure it's snuggy boo. Okay, this is not actually the pivot point. The pivot point's actually in here. Yes. So I went to tighten it up. See the shiny new one? That just ripped right off. The guy didn't have much of a weld. Yeah. Oh, well. I welded it good because I was sober almost. Yeah. All right, let's go check on the flags because we are done for the day. We succeeded in what we did. Oh, I forgot to mention too, if you're flying around putting new seals, everything in your transmission rear end, make sure you take the breather apart to make sure it's clean. Because if it can't breathe, it'll push the oil out the seals. Yes, Bill Nile, the science guy, taught me that. It's called expansion. Okay, it's warm out here. It's Sunday. We're quitting early. I think it's 5 o'clock. The boss can go screw himself. He's an asshole. We're not working any later. It's too hot. We're going to go drink beers. Look at the flags. They're all in their natural state, including the flag of Canada. Yes, the flag exercise. What a tangled mess. Oh, that's going to be me later. All right, let's go make a video. Oh, we got to walk the dogs, drink some beer, make a video, drink some more beer, and we'll talk to you later.